Buenos dias. Remember, always wear your face mask. Make sure it's covering your nose and your mouth. Do not touch the front part of your face mask. When you're taking it off, take it off by the ends here. If it is a reusable, you hold like this and put it in the clothes to wash, or you hand wash it. Wash your hands with soap and water afterwards. And if it is, you have a disposable, put it in the bin. Now I'm resting my face mask and I'm resting it down like this. Okay? All right. So I have with you, I brought my garden inside, and I thought that the 9th of May is a special day in celebration of all those people, those maternal people in our lives, whether it is our mother, our grandmothers, aunts, and even there are men who play this huge matriarchal role. That we just want to give them a token of appreciation. But that is not only for that day, but that day it's always great to give them something. And what better way of creating an exotic flower? So here in Trinidad, in the Caribbean, in the tropics, we have exotic flowers. So I brought a few from my garden to show you what an exotic flower is. So I'm still fighting up with my anthurium. Notice how lusty it looks. Notice what I love about it. The shape of the leaf is the shape of a heart. How beautiful. But I have not been fortunate to get an anthurium. Maybe I might get it for the 9th of May. Then in my garden, I have these heliconias, right? I'm sure you have seen it because sometimes they come in orange and yellow, or sometimes just yellow. Here I have, let me see, right, we have the lobster claw, right? That's a very big exotic flower. And I brought to you my gigantic heliconia. So just to give you an idea of our tropical flowers that grows in our home, our yard, in our country, and they make magnificent bouquets. All right. So let's see what we're doing. So we're doing craft. We're crafting today. When we say crafting today, it's a lot of paper cutting, a lot of gluing. Oh my gosh. Right. So the last thing we did was hands, and we are continuing with hands. So you're taking your hand, you're going to trace it for me. Remember, we did that before. Put on your little, you put on the lines that make up your hands and your fingernails. I use crayons there. You could use crayons or colored pencils. Put on nail polish, you jazz it up. All right. You put what you want on it. I would prefer though that you don't make it too colorful. I just want, one color, have it neat, remember? Well, when you see the entire picture, you will understand why. Right. Then, when you trace it out, you cut it out for me. Now, I did my hand in brown. You could use brown paper as well, right? And the part where your fingers are, put some glue in the palm and in the front of your hand. Okay? So your your um your fingers, which is the back of your hand, I want you to rest it down on your sketchpad page, but you're only sticking this area here and this area here, only there. So the fingers must be free. So you're sticking that down, and then you're placing a toilet paper roll in the middle of it. Then you're taking your fingers and you're curling it around. So we are making a collage, right? And it is your hand holding something. Let's see what it is. So we are going to learn how to do quilling. Quilling is the art of taking paper and rolling it. We're doing simple quilling today. So I want you to cut thin strips of paper and roll it around a pencil. You could roll it around a paintbrush if you want. When I say roll it, let me just stop share for a minute, right? You take it and you just do this. Just roll it like that. Roll it, roll it, roll it. You could roll it on a long, a pencil or a paintbrush. A paintbrush will give you a thinner fit. Okay, like that. I want that. All right, let's go back to the PowerPoint. Okay, so next we are placing, so I want you to do at least 3 strips. So you're going 1 at the top and 2 on either sides. So you have 3, you're doing 3 strips. 1 at the top and 2 on either sides. That is making the base for your work. So you're doing 3 strips for me. Let's look back. So what we are going to learn to make is a heliconia and a anthurium. This heliconia is also known as a ginger lily. So I just showed you some of the other heliconias I have in my home. And I am going to, but we are going to do a ginger lily. That is a ginger lily, specifically ginger lily. So I want you to trace and cut out at least 12 of these petals. Notice it is in the shape of an elongate C or a teardrop. One thing when we are cutting out these things, girls, you must always keep it on the fold line. So let me see, I have a little piece of paper here, right? This is your fold. Wherever you fold, that is your fold line. So if you can see here, let me put the mouse here for you to see. This is your fold line. Look, your line folded there. So you will cut out one and make a narrow strip and cut out many others. All right? Right. So when you cut out many of them, they are going to look like that. So some, it's still folded, some are open. I want you to open them all out. Right. And then we will start making the heliconia. Let me show you that. So I have a few here. Oh my gosh. Oh, it fell. It fell. So all you're doing is taking, so you have a 2, you're taking 1 and you're putting it in like that. You just see how it's open like that, right? So 1 is open and 1 is in, right? So you have your open, 1 is in, and it fits in like that. And you keep doing that to build up your heliconia. You could make it as big as you want it, as long as you want it to be. All right? So let's go back. Good. So here I use 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I pack them one, and you can see the little bit of glue there, right? So you pack them into each other. All right. So remember I told you to make 3 stems. So the tallest one at the top, right? I want you to put the heliconia that you just made there, okay? Now I did the same thing with green leaves, just to stick on either side. So the tallest one at the top, you put in your heliconia there, and you put in 2 leaves, the same shape on either side, okay? Then you're gonna make cuts. Now I painted this paper red because I wanted it to be a redder anthurium. Some of you might have red construction paper. Some of you might be satisfied with what you have. Some of you may not have. And if you paint it, not a problem. All right? Oh my gosh. Why is it doing this? Okay, so I want you to cut out 2 hearts for me. Now, when you get your 2 hearts, we want it to look like an anthurium. So you roll the ends. So let me stop share and show you that, how we do that. So here I have a cutout anthurium. This is a paper that I painted. Notice it's white, it's red. If you don't have the paper, If you have the construction paper, use this construction paper. If you don't have it, you can paint it. So you're going to take the end here because we want to make it look like an anthurium flower. Just roll it a little bit. See? Take the next side, roll it a little bit so it looks like an anthurium flower. And then when we glue it, you just shape it, even it out, and voila, we have an anthurium flower. Something is missing in the middle. So you remember how I showed you how to do the tubing in green? In the middle of the anthurium, it's yellow. So you take a yellow strip of paper and you do the same tubing, okay? So let's see what we did here. There we go. So here it is. I glued it here. So we have first our ginger lily at the top, our two anthuriums on either side, and here we have the yellow. All right. But we forgot to put the leaves because we don't want here looking too sparse. All right. Now, remember I showed you what anthurium leaves are like? That's right. It's the shape of a heart. Okay? And notice you are seeing that yellow in the middle. So next I want you to get your to do your leaves the same way. And here it is. I did one and I use my yellow to give me the veins of the leaves. Right. So again, remember we go through the process. I didn't have that color green paper. So I painted it green, folded the paper in half, and I cut out two leaves. I didn't want that twirly stem to look, so I put my leaves exactly on top of it. Now my bouquet is complete. So let me show you my own here. Okay. So this is mine. Right, I did not stick in my leaves because I wanted to show you all something. So when you're doing the heart, so here it is. It would have looked like this, but it would have looked too sparse. The stems were really the surface where you could stick your flowers on, right? Because you want to make it look 3D. You take one leaf, you don't have to put plenty glue because we want to make it look like a real bouquet of flower. So you put one here, you could put one here too. If you wanted, you could make another anthurium and you could stick it here, right? Or you could make a simple ginger lily. Well, I was experimenting with colors because sometimes the ginger lilies might have a little bit of yellow in it. So here is my one. I could have stuck one here as well. Okay, so at least and additionally, I put a backing in the back here. All right. So you could write a note anywhere. I love you, mommy. Happy Mother's Day. Anything you want. You could fold this in half, and this is a huge Mother's Day card. You can do what you want with your white background. In terms of you could either put. So added a Bristol board backing, right? You can do that as well. All right. You can also add more flowers, a little more if you wanted. So today we did crafting with paper. Remember, if you don't have paper, you can always paint whatever you have, recycle whatever you have, you paint over it. If you don't have paint, you could use crayons. If you don't have crayons, you could use colored pencils. Sometimes too, you might have some magazines with a lot of red, a lot of green, a lot of orange in it. You can also utilize that. Okay, you could utilize that to get your shape. You all know how to make a heart. You fold it in half. It's basically a C, a elongated C. You cut it in half. So both sides are the same, right? So I want to see at least one ginger lily. When I say at least, I mean one ginger lily. You can have two, three, four, but I want one ginger lily and I want two anthuriums, at least two anthuriums. So you could have two, three, four, five, six. But I must see one ginger lily, and two anthuriums. So I just want to wish all the mothers, all the
matriarchs in your homes, a blessed Mother's Day, and thank God for you. Because of you, the children are here, and because of you, they are plodding along. And God bless you, and God bless your work, and to give you the strength and health to continue what you're doing. Girls, I want you to take your time with this project. I know it's long, it took me a long time to do, but you know what's beautiful of it? It allowed your mind to think. And also, some of you might say, oh my gosh, I didn't get mommy anything for Mother's Day. And this you did. You gave her an exotic bouquet of flowers. This is exotic. All right? Okay, so again, so look at how I'm taking up my mask. Always by the handles. When I had it on the desk, I did like this, not touching the surface. It's very important. Put it back around my ears, making sure my nose and my mouth is completely covered. Adios, hasta la vista,